Breakfast with the Boss. We are part of the morning show. Good morning, Keith. How are you?
Good morning, good morning.
We have a great show here on Radio Vision Network. We meet every Thursday from 9:30 to 10, and we talk about lots of great things that can help people live their lives easier, help employees and employers understand each other and be there for each other so that business can be easier. Today we have a really interesting person. I want you to say hello to Simone Breyerman. Simone, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Simone has a really interesting business. Many of you know that when you have a piece of paper that you're not supposed to keep, what do we do with it? We have to shred it. And Simone's business is a personalized shredding company. It's the kind of company that it comes to you and helps you do all the work. Simone, thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure.
People don't think about shredding much, but it has so much things attached to it. There's legal compliance, there's time spent getting rid of stuff that you already dealt with. You need to tell me a little bit about how you got into this crazy business.
Well, I used, before I moved to the States and married my husband, have a business back in the UK. But when I came to the States, I became a stay-at-home mum for a while, and then I went back to work. And at the time, my husband was looking to get into a business because he was between jobs. So I was going to go back part-time and help him, and he was going to run Proshred in southern New Jersey, which is a franchise. However, he got gainfully employed back in his own industry, but we really loved Proshred and the idea of being able to help so many people through shredding that I went back to work full-time.
Now, I have to ask, how did he get involved in shredding? What was his thought process? Was it, a lot of people have passions to help people, which I know you do. I haven't met your husband as much, but I bet you. Other people say, I need to make a living, I need to have a business, I need to see what kind of business will work. Was it more of a business thinking? Or?
It was initially. Proshred is both B2B and B2C.
Right.
We, unlike some shredding companies, don't discriminate between businesses and residential clients.
Great
We
news.
are equal opportunity to both of them.
Shredders.
Yes, we shred, and we're happy to shred whether you're at home moving granny dies or whatever, or whether you're a business and you need to comply with the legislation, or you need to make it economically viable. Why pay an admin to shred?
Right.
So that's what we do. And
Well,
when
let's
we
talk about
looked at
that.
it,
Yeah.
it was just a really good idea. Unfortunately, identity theft has become a big buzzword.
Absolutely.
And we loved the fact that this is something that helps people.
Now, you have some great information here I was reading prior to getting online with you. And there's reasons why it makes more sense to have a shredding company versus doing it in-house. And I could illuminate them, but I'm going to allow you to do that because you did such a nice job with the materials.
Okay, so there's a couple of reasons. One is cost. It costs long-term less to use a shredding company than it does. Say you have an admin and you're paying her anything between $10, $15, $18 an hour plus the taxes on top, and she's shredding an hour a week, 2 hours a week, even if it's like 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, it adds up. We can actually be more economical. And in addition, you're not buying a shredding machine in your office.
Right.
You're just putting them in a bin.
Right.
And
Which you provide.
Which we provide free
Locked,
of charge.
Locked bin.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, in various sizes.
We'll talk about that in a
But
minute, right?
we provide the bins, and you're not oiling, you're not maintaining,
Right.
you're not dealing with the mess and cleaning it up when it overflows. People don't want to have to deal with it. We provide a low-cost solution, and we prove that you're shredding.
Which is
So
real
that
important,
if
yeah.
you're needing to be compliant with legislation, and in this day and age, every business really needs to comply with the FACTA regulations, what happens is we give you a certificate of destruction at the end of it. And that's a piece of paper we advise you not to shred. It's the proof that you're complying. It's the proof there's a chain of custody for your sensitive information. It's the proof that you're not responsible for the information breach. It's not
At that point. Right.
Because we're showing what you did with the paper.
Is that something that other people do too? The documentation,
Most
certification?
companies
Are now doing that,
supply
yeah.
a certificate of destruction. Of course, we've got the bells and whistles of certification and the fact we're doing it on site. So
Right.
it's not leaving your parking lot. The bin gets emptied, wheeled to
Right.
the truck, shredded there and
Virtually
there.
100% chance it's going to be shredded.
It's not
Yeah.
going to fall off the back of truck, and
Right.
believe you me, Google falling off the paper falling off the back of the truck, and think what happens if there's an information breach that way.
Sure.
It can cost hundreds and thousands of dollars, because if it happens to you, you have to notify all your clients. You get fined by government and state.
Right.
And the bottom line is your reputation, and that's the most important thing any business has, is its reputation. Your reputation suffers. We're so used to hearing about credit card fraud.
Right.
Think of Target.
Right.
But 30% is still good old-fashioned paper. And when it happened to Target, what was the worst thing that happened to them? People didn't want to shop there. It impacted their bottom line.
Right.
It impacted their share price. It impacts the things that businesses don't really want happen to their business.
Exactly.
Who wants to end up on Channel 6 or Radio Vision with an information breach?
Yeah, that's not the advertising I think you're looking for in some way. Now, what's interesting about shredding is that there's a lot of people who take it really, really seriously. It's like politics, I guess. And a lot of people don't take it seriously at all.
We have...
There's very few in-betweeners.
Yes, that's for sure. We have some really interesting clients who really get it. I was talking to you before about Mathnasium in Cherry Hill.
Right.
They have a shred all policy. If it's a piece of paper and it's going to be disposed of, they put it in the shred bin and it's shredded.
There is no trash cans, basically.
There are no trash cans for paper.
For that work, right.
Trash cans for other items,
Yes.
but not paper. And it's a green initiative, so they know it's going to end up being recycled.
Right.
So instead of putting it in a recycle bin, they put it in the shred bin, we shred it, it's recycled, and they know that a child's identity is not going to be compromised on their watch.
Right.
Unfortunately, some businesses don't get it, and they're still throwing it away, and they're the ones you need to be worried about.
You know, we have a lot more questions to ask. We're here with Simone Breyerman from Proshred Security. Her phone number is 856-336-2820. Here we are, Radio Vision Network, and we are with Breakfast with the Boss with Simone. We'll be right back.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Choosing the right fence for your home or business is an important decision to make. Choose a Nello fence for peace of mind. Our family has manufactured and installed beautiful maintenance-free fence for over 50 years. We provide vinyl, aluminum, and wood fence in a wide variety of styles and colors, including chain link fence for commercial and residential. Call or visit our indoor showroom and ask for Steve Anello and see how 4 generations of combined experience mean that you'll get quality and service that can't be matched by any other fencing company, period. Call Anello Fence today for a free estimate.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of Whitehorse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
With the boss, I'm here with Simone Breyerman from Proshred Security. Before we went to break, or during the break, I should say, we were talking about how long they've been around, and I just found out they're the grandpappy of shredders. Tell us about that.
Too true. We're the pioneers of on-site shredding. Proshred started off in the 1980s with a shredder bolted into the ground of a bread truck. It's become a lot more high-tech since then, but on-site shredding, which they pioneered, is a more secure form of shredding. It's shredding at your location.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's
I'm
really
pleased
wonderful.
that even though we're a young branch of the company, it's a franchise, and we're the southern New Jersey, and we go all the way up to Princeton, and down to Cape May and into Delaware, but were one of the newer ones, but they've been going way back when.
Now you have hundreds of clients. Many of them are ongoing clients. You have one-offs where you help clients once at one point. You have clients that you help once a month or once a year, but bigger jobs. You have clients in government. You have clients in private industry. My guess is you probably have consumer clients, or just personal people. But one of the things that I thought was interesting is the legislative side of this thing.
Oh yes.
There's something I was reading here called FACTA, which is the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act of 2003. Now, I don't worry about these things. So I wonder if the world's like me. Why don't you spend a minute sharing with us what the standards are about FACTA and what the ABCs, if you will.
Okay, so FACTA and HIPAA, HITECH, and GLIBA are forms of legislation that the government...
Acronyms.
Acronyms, and believe you me, you don't want to look at all the
No, that's
different
all right.
letters and the people who... but FACTA, for instance, is the Fair and Accurate...
Right. Credit
whatever,
Transaction Act.
yeah,
Yes.
it's a long-winded...
It's okay.
It's long-winded, what can I say?
Yeah.
Anyway, the government over the years has gradually enacted various legislation at a federal level. These are regulations that businesses have to follow in how personal identifying information, financial information in some cases with FACTA, HIPAA is all medical information.
Right.
HITECH is the amendment to the HIPAA Act that gave it teeth and boosted the fines. And GLIBA, which covers both, they're the legislation that makes business, medical, general, banks, your high street shop require what they need to destroy of those. However, personal identification information, PII, is now being covered at state levels as well. New Jersey has the 2004 Identity Theft Act.
Mm-hmm.
Back in January, 1st of January 2015, Delaware brought in regulations that if you weren't covered under FACTA, HIPAA, GLIBA, and all the rest of the darn things, you are now required as a business to destroy any personal identification information. And they consider that to be name, address, and telephone number. So you can't throw your old invoices out as a company. You can't throw a lot of this information out anymore, unless of course you want to be fined. Believe it or not, we're not in the state that, for instance, Texas is.
Mm-hmm.
For every piece of information that you cause an information breach on, it's $5,000 per piece of information. One piece, 5,000. 10 pieces, 50. 100 pieces,
Are there shredder?
500,000.
Are there shredder
Do the maths.
policemen? Are there shredder policemen out there?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
People. What kind of cars do they drive? What are we talking?
Particularly in
What are we talking
HIPAA,
about?
because of different other aspects, and
Mhm.
medical theft, identity theft is actually worse than any other.
Mhm.
It can be life-threatening. It actually is worth more on the black market, medical identity theft. A medical identity, apart from the fact that now you can have insurance coverage, if you, with the central records,
Mhm.
amend, someone goes in, they've stolen the identity, they do not have any allergies. The person whose identity they stole might be penicillin
Allergic, right.
allergic.
Yeah.
They amend the record, you are in a car crash, you can't tell them you're allergic to penicillin. You
Right.
could end up dead. But it's worth more.
Right.
So HIPAA police, we have a client. Recently we went in, we did a walkthrough
Mhm.
and discovered there was paper where there shouldn't be. We suggested they put in lock containers at various positions. They're now HIPAA compliant.
So really, what everybody needs to understand about Proshred and about Simone and her business and the people that work for her and with her is that they're incredibly comprehensive. They not only do they pick up your stuff and shred it, but they consult with you to make sure you're doing it the right way. we want to talk some more with you about this, and we also want to share, I know, a big event that you guys are sponsoring and Proshred sponsors. We have to take these messages because they're the sponsors of this group. So we'll be right back. This is Scott Tanker, Simone Breyerman. We'll be right back.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
With the boss, part of this great show called Morning Coffee. Keith, how are we doing today?
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
I'll tell you, I love this show. I love Simone's work. I love Proshred, what they can do. And I want you to tell the audience, before I forget, how to get a hold of you. Speak into the camera and let them know how to get a hold of you, where to get a hold of you, and then we're going to ask some more questions.
Okay, Proshred operates out of West Berlin, but we cover the whole of southern New Jersey. We can be reached on 856-336-2820 or via our website www.proshred.com/southernnj.
Now, a lot of people don't understand the shredding business as much as I've learned the last half hour and an hour. And I know Simone from other places, which is why I have her on the show, because I think she does great stuff. And you really got to understand what great stuff means. When you have to shred, you may be a company that closes at 5. Well, your shredder can't come at 5:30. Your shredder has to come during the day. You may be a company that has different hours or different needs for shredding. What's really cool about Proshred is they're very, very flexible. And they'll deal with you in a couple different ways. Maybe you want to share a couple quick things with us about that.
Okay, we don't provide cookie cutter solutions. We believe in evaluating every company on its needs and the merits of what we can do for them. So we have a variety of consoles, bins in different sizes, and we're flexible enough to go from anything from 1-week service to 8-week service as our regular scheduled, or if you want, we'll come in once, twice, 3 times a year and do a bulk shred. Those are for our companies. We also, as I said, don't discriminate, so we'll do the same for individuals, home offices. We have special containers for them that can fit under their desk when they're space challenged. And we're lucky in that we don't hold you to a contract either. We only believe in agreements unless you want, because of legislation, to have a contract.
Or your corporate protocol, whatever.
Or whatever. We do all the agreements. For HIPAA, we do business associate agreements and the variety of HIPAA compliant documents. But we're only as good as our last shred for you. So we have agreements because we believe you should be able to change. A lot of shredding companies, they will hold you 1 to 3 years, automatically renewing. We don't believe that. We ask that if we do something wrong, you give us the chance to put it right, but we don't hold you that you're bound to us forever and eternity.
You have to appreciate this, folks, because many businesses today try to lock you in, and I think it's totally unfair to lock you into anything in today's world when things move so fast. So I think it's really great that you can pay as you go and decide if you feel like not having your service anymore. There's no contractual arrangement to bind them, and I think that's great. And I think you folks have to understand shredding can be a good experience, and that's one of the things that Proshred does, is it makes shredding a good experience, which is nothing wrong with it. They don't come in with a sad face. They don't come in dirty clothed. They don't come in complaining. They come in, they do their job, they leave, they help you when they need help, they consult with you when you need something. It's just something everybody should really try. You should give a call to Simone's organization, find out what it would cost to shred your stuff, because you might find out it's a lot less expensive, and they'll help you even calculate those costs.
Oh,
Now,
certainly.
we have a minute or two left, and I want to talk about something that's so important.
Oh,
Proshred is a major sponsor, a nationwide event of the American Institute for Cancer Research, and they are having a shredding event on June 4th from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Please give us some more information while I show this to the group.
Okay, so every year we have an annual shred event. This is our third year. Our location, it will be the second year. We shred cancer. Unfortunately, sadly, one of the initial franchisees died of cancer. And so as a result, it is an organization, the American Institute of Cancer Research, very dear to our heart, and Proshred throughout the country provide their services free of charge. We'll shred up to 5 boxes. We ask you make a donation of, say, $5 a box, and at our location it's between 9:30 and 11:30 on June the 4th in our parking lot in West Berlin.
Want to give that address again?
575 Route 73 North, Cooper Run, Executive Park, and we're just north of Sahara Sam's on Route 73. That's a very good landmark for anyone who's local. And the bottom line is, we believe that all the funds we raise should go for the charity, and therefore we all donate our time, our CSP's time, all the profit we make from that day goes to this.
That's a great cause. But you know what, folks? If you can't make it that day, you still need stuff to be shredded. So if you still need stuff to be shredded, I still want you to call Simone, because she'll come in and she'll shred it anyway. But she's trying to give you a deal that day, and for the goodness of this great cause, which is a cause of the American Institute of Cancer Research, and we know how important that is, really. And it's just a great thing that they do.
It is.
Nationwide, too, which is really nice.
Yes.
Well, folks, we are at the end of this show. I've learned so much about shredding. You think it's boring, but it's not. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of legislation. There's legal issues. There's penalties. You want a shredder that is get there on time, get there when you want them to get there on an ongoing basis, be reasonably priced, and give you a nice experience. I recommend strongly you look into Proshred. That phone number again is 856-336-2820, but I'm really going to get Simone upset. I'm going to give you her cell phone number, because she'll come, because she's the gal who will talk to you. And her number is 917-816-6212. That's 917-816-6212. Simone, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
We hope you've enjoyed today. This is Scott Tanker, host of Breakfast with the Boss. We are part of the Great Morning Coffee Show. Keith, what do you think?
Great.
Another great show here in May. In southern New Jersey, it's been raining. We can't wait for the May flowers. We will see you next Thursday, each and every Thursday, 9:30 to 10. This is Scott Tanker signing off.